My good day, everyone. So I was watching this clip and I felt like commenting on it. It was actually on Theo Vaughn here, not really this other guy that I'm watching him through, but here.
No, it's hard for me. Some of this stuff's a little bit hard for me to say. I think I don't know why, but I think I want a new story. My story in my life, and I'm sorry to make this about me, kind of, but I'm just trying to share.
Yeah, I do. I do that
when
a
I was growing
lot
up, like
too.
my mom, something was wrong with her. I love my mother, but she didn't connect with me. She didn't like look at me, and she didn't, she wouldn't hold me that much, and she didn't look. She wouldn't look me in the eyes, right? So as a kid, I felt like something was wrong with me. I felt like, oh, if the person that created me won't even look at me, then something must be so wrong with me.
Oh, that's really deep, man. I'm sorry you had to go through that. My MK Ultra Ean was a little different, and I had a lot of love. Although there was secret shenanigans that went on all sides, it seemed, um, that I just don't know about. And they made me that. I think he's gonna like be like he was turned into a people pleaser, a yes man, and it's like yeah, that's kind of like me. And he's like, look for a different story, and I'm like, yeah, I had this one about like wanting to run for president, but there's a bunch of secret evil things that I need to do to meet those requirements. As it is currently, I don't know if it's always been like that. I like to think that it hasn't always been like that, and it's just been hijacked lately, like for decades, a few generations at least. Um, but yeah, and then I'm like, man, I don't want to do that pussy ass shit. I'm not into rape. I'm not into torture. I'm not really into all that fucked up stuff. Regardless if people can Matt Gates me. I know Matt Gates was interviewing that good leader looking guy, Dan. I forget his last name. But yeah, and people are rightfully not crucifying him. He slept with a 16-year-old that was posing as a 19-year-old. And that's what a lot of the stuff is. Try to get something on them. It's like, well, you technically, yeah, but you know what? It was all consensual. Shut the fuck up. As well. And that seems to be what people are doing. So maybe some of the demons are like, oh my God, how dare you, Matt Gates? Just whatever. And then I had to deal with my own shit. Uncovering all these memories. Realizing that I had been MK Ultra and steered, sort of controlled, but not really. Um, People trying to get me to be a patsy of some sort over the years, and it's just really hurtful. You know, and I could do with all that without all that school bullshit where they do all those mind controls and MK Ultras. Um, and yeah, that's kind of and I'm not like looking to join them. I'm not saying it's not wrong either. Stuff with underagers. It gets a little too extreme, especially on the Zionist side. But I'm like, look, it'd just be safer for your children on the light side if you guys didn't force anybody's children to do anything, because they seem to be forcing you all into a lot of evils regardless, even if you hit the 18 threshold, which they're like, well, come on, they're 18 now, go fucking sacrifice yourselves as a soldier. We're going to make sure to position you in a fucking base that's about to be attacked, because that's what one side does, I guess. And I'm just not into all that shit. But I'm not into all that pussy stuff either, because there's a lot of people that are like, oh my God, at the end of Stephen King's It, the children had sex with themselves? And it's like, oh my God. I mean, if the kids were going to have sex with anybody, you would think it would be, of their peer. So stop with the pussy bullshit too, because that seems almost psyop, like for real. Like there was that Jesus dude or whatever. Some of these Jesus people feel like Cartman. They feel like Cartman, like where he's like, Jesus, 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 go turn off the light. Where he was doing the faith plus one, um, trying to win a bet against Kyle, I think, and and he's just faking his way, and he's not sincere, and he's just doing it like for this platinum album, I guess. But anyway, And a lot of Jesus people feel like that too. Because the mimic on either side. I'm not into eating people or babies, especially, and I'm not into all that, weird stuff that they want you to do. And it's like, no, no, thanks. I'm gonna figure out something else now. Thanks, but no thanks. Yeah, I'm still, thinking about a leadership position. I think writing my book could help out navigate, could help others navigate, and that's what you all need right now. Instead of all this division, you do need unity if you're going to solve anything. And there's no way the good side is going to like start executing all the demons, and you could be easily manipulated. Oh my God, let me tell I should make a separate video for it, and I probably will. But yeah, just I had the let's get them alive, let's take them alive thing going on. And they were hijacking me with something dark and demonic, and I'm like, let's fucking skull fuck them. you know um they've murdered a lot of normal people though, so the argument that they've taken so many, so let's take them, that's fair. But also, you don't know all their weird tactics that they do. Like look at this Epstein shit. They get someone to fucking murder a pedo. Yay! Everyone celebrates that, but nobody, trying to get the child murderers or anything. I'm like, and I'm just like, why don't you go after the pedos that fucking murder children? I'm like, why don't you prioritize that instead of this low hanging like fruit? That you guys do. I'm like, no, maybe prioritize a little higher. And gets me some blowback. But you know what? I'm not worried about it, and I can't be a people pleaser like they turned me and Theo Von into by fucking us up probably while in school. What I suspect very intentionally, because the schools kind of act like a little breeding ground for like your demons, even though they might spank a demon real hard and suspend or expel them from a school. It's still kind of like a demon factory. But here, I'm sorry you had to experience this with your mom. That sucks. I had the love that you didn't, and others that share your story didn't. I was roofie possessed on top of being a special incarnate. So you're trying to hijack the incarnate with the possession, or just get it to do a bunch of stupid shit, you know, um, and whatnot, and just act stupid. And that's one thing that like maybe Theo Von or some of you other remember growing up in the 80s and 90s. And there'll be people that encouraged us yes men to do something stupid or whatever, and because you want to be a people pleaser, you gotta make everybody happy. And so I get that, but let him finish here.
Um, and I've worked through a lot of this stuff, and so I'm kind of going down this lane. But it just gave me like a lot of low self worth.
Yeah.
It just gave me low self worth, and honestly, it made it tough for me to even have a self because the only person that I only knew who I was if you reacted to me well, right? Like I became just a people pleaser because I didn't have any feelings of self worth. So the only way I could get my worth was from you, right? From somebody else. And it made sense because I didn't have a me. I didn't have a big sense of self, and so I got myself from who you thought I was. And I needed everybody to like me. I needed everybody to like me because I didn't know if there was one person that didn't like me. If one of the plates stopped spinning, if it was all gonna fall down. So anyway, sorry, I'm kind of rambling, but
That's real. It's tough.
but the thing that also happened was that all of that energy, that negative energy, that uncertainty, that became my story, right? And it gave me like a chip on my shoulder where it was like, I'm gonna show them, I'll show these, I'll do this, and it gave me all of that. It gave me all of that energy. Like I'll prove to them, I'll prove to somebody.
Yeah, the rage that you've been running on your whole life, and then you're like, man, I don't want to run on rage anymore. And I get that too. I think he's about to bring that up, if I recall correctly. But well, he did just bring it up. So
That I'm worth something. I'm gonna make. Yeah, I just want to look in somebody's eyes and have them be pleased.
yeah, I don't want to be a deep state bitch. I was very sincere about all the Jesus-like things that I was talking about running for president on my platform. But if I have to do evil things and or sell my soul or some bullshit, I'm just not in. I'm just eh. You lost me. And as I talk, yeah, there's some weird satanic stuff going on. I don't know if that's all of them. It could get a little confusing, um, because there's a lot of religious people, like, God believing and God this and God that and Jesus this and Jesus that are doing absolutely evil fucking things. And then, like, the Satanists, I'm like, yeah, the Satanists, at least they're always like sending me someone like 18 and up. But the Catholics and Christians and whatever, whatever fucking denomination or whatever, are sending me, like, under 18s. It's weird. Yeah, you rape me a whole bunch with your children, and then, like, you'll force me in situations where I'm babysitting, and then have your kids feel themselves up because I'm the problem. And it's like a huge psychological warfare. I didn't even notice it most of my life. I didn't even notice it most of my life until I, like, noticed it a few years ago, and then my mind screamed, and I'm like, hey, wait a second. It's only ever you guys doing fucked up, secretive MK Ultra shit to me. I'm not really doing that shit to other people. Yes, I've lashed out, and they try to make you think that you're as guilty as they are, and it's like, no, no. That's some spiritual warfare nonsense. I mean, common tactic, I guess. But yeah, and I'm just kind of like, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not like that, and I don't care how many people go around anymore and pretend, because that's been a common theme my whole life. So I just gotta, expect that for the rest of my life, right? So, and just kind of let it pass through me, like, okay, I know what I am. Thank you. I'm not trying to be improper. I get that people seeking a child of God too, and for some people that aren't entirely evil, breeding is a big thing. So some evil is into that breeding stuff too. So you got, right, intentions, intentions, intentions. Will help me guide my discernment through all this. So yeah, people could say Jim Brewer, and I enjoy Jim Brewer. I can't watch all you motherfuckers, and I'm trying to watch you less. But it's been helpful during this major processing that I've gone through all these emotions. Things aren't still really clear for me, so then, but that's okay. I'm more calmed down. Try not to run on rage all the time, because that's been something that, like, Theo Von just talked about, like running on rage and everything. And it's like, man, I'm kind of tired of that, and people are like trying to encourage me for it. They're like, man, yeah, you should be really upset, and fucking, trying to push me, MK Ultra push in some direction that, different groups of people are hoping for different outcomes. But anyway, and yeah, having been, Charles Manson and Jeffrey Dahmer and, like, a whole bunch more advanced stuff, because they're like, we closed the program, but it just gets worse and more complex. And yeah, so you go through all that shit, and try, to not, fuck up, as bad as I did. I mean, fucking, me, chasing people away that might actually be good friends. Um, that hurt. I ain't gonna lie. Although with all the infiltrators, it also makes sense that it's a good protection too. So, I chased away a lot of good ones, but I also chased away a lot of wrong ones too. And that's good protection. It's like, hang on a second while I get my shit straight. But it's like that for decades. So yeah. So anyway, let me see here. Um,
That's what I was. That's what I wanted. I think it's all that any kid wants. I wanted to just look in somebody's eyes and have them be pleased with me. And all that gave me a chip on my shoulder, And so anyway, so it gave me all this energy. It was like, I'm gonna figure this out. I'll do it myself. I'll figure, and all that stuff served me well until,
yeah.
I think just until now. It's like,
yeah, and it has served me well. It has served me very well. But I don't know if continuing, living my life on rage is the best thing, and I'm like, look, I don't want to be a deep state bitch. I don't want to betray stuff that I fucking talk about and that I actually mean. I don't want to betray those causes. And I see things a little differently than other people see them. People think that everything is legit. There's only a little bit of corruption or bullshit here and there, but the whole system is rigged. It's just one fucking show, and I don't want to really partake in the show. I want to resist against the show. I think the show sucks, and we should change the channel. And play a better show, right?
I don't know. I'm just tired of living that story, man. I'm tired of that story.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I'm kind of tired of the rage too, and the rage has served me well. Although didn't help out with the lashing outs, right? So like I'm like that fucked up dog, that fucked up rescue dog that still finds itself pissing itself whenever a stranger comes around, right? Um, but yeah, I mean they prove their points. Like they're like, so you would fuck a college chick, Chris? I don't know. I'm a little out of sync, and I've been single, and everyone's like throwing like pussy and fucking penises in front of me ever since I was a fucking kid. I think I turned out very damn well, even though I have a little bit of sexual proclivities with like I'm trying really hard to be celibate, and it's not like I'm with somebody. It's just like with myself, and I'm trying really hard. I'm able to maintain a high vibration. Well, especially since I got that root canal removed. Um, but I believe I'm able to maintain the high vibration, but it kind of drags me down a little bit, these low proclivities that I have. But you know what? It's a hell of a lot better than hooking up with their handlers. Like what could I say? And it's not like every handler is like a bad handler. There's probably like some good ones that are like, yeah, we're trying to help you out and do your thing, and I get that, and thank you for those. And I need to, instead of complaining about things, it's like, okay, these fucked up things happened to me. I didn't do anything to like anyone except like a lash out is very likely. Um, aside from that, it's all forgivable. I forgive myself, actually, especially since people are trying to throw the book literally, like how to covertly make a monster, like literally. But they do that on a mass scale. That's why I want to write my book, because it's like a story about me, but it's a story about you probably too, or someone that you know. Um, because they do these little things and then they do them mass scale, and there you go. It's kind of simple when you think about it. Um, and anyway, good on Theo Von and everything. I would like to maybe. I mean, man, I want to get away from the electronic stuff, so it doesn't help me to want to make a podcast, right? But I wouldn't mind making appearances now that I got my mind right, and I could say this in pretty few words and just have an adult discussion about, some fucked up things, but that's actually like, on the scale of evil and everything, that's pretty low on the scale of evil, even the stuff that I suffered. So, but it is a major manipulation of the mob, and and it just brings me to the conclusion. I'm like, you know what? Let families raise their families as they see fit, and then starting from that point, you would have fewer problems, and then you could focus on the poisoning of your food and all the diseases that you guys are getting, and that it reminds me, they're like injuring some in the herd, and they're making the herd get together, and that's a good thing and everything, but it's also slowing the herd down too. um, and they injure us, and they put us in these crutches or wheelchairs, with all the shenanigans that goes on with our products that are all over the place. So yeah. Anyway, you, you know, um, jumping back to the Epstein thing really quick though, like, so what's happening now? Because I didn't finish the point. So what's happening now is like they faked his death. Everybody got the kill the pedo, yay! And now it's very plausibly deniable, and that's why no one's really doing anything. But it's very likely the same dude, Palm Beach Pete, shouldn't have a pancreas, right? Because he had his pancreas removed, and same mannerisms, sounds different, and I'm sure they have a surgery to fucking make people sound different. They do that for trans, so all right. So so yeah, so killing them, they have ways, they have clones, they have lookalikes. You'll just get the lookalike and leave the ambiguity in them there for them to live like a free open life and shit. And how did that help? How did killing help? You know, right? And that's what I need to make a separate video on actually. So one of these days. Yeah, I don't think killing helped in that situation, and that's why you should, probably take people alive as righteous and as just as it would be to take their own, to take their lives too. All right, and I get those arguments, and that's totally fair, but you better make sure you're getting the fucking right person, not some lookalike or some clone even. You got to worry about that shit, especially when you're trying to go for some of the major evil that have these labs and obviously do this stuff secretly, but anyway, well, peace the fuck out. Bye bye.